Here with Bailey Caldwell. Bailey is the Director of Professional Services for RightScale. Welcome to Australia, Bailey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
The IT industry continues to gather pace. The ability to manage and handle change and frequently delivering new features and functions to market is a critical enabler for any business to compete in today's marketplace. The Devops movement is really about maturing processes and bringing the ops and the development teams together so that we can do that fast process of delivery. Technically though, I believe it takes 4 cornerstone capabilities that must exist to do DevOps well. The first is you must be able to automate the provisioning of your infrastructure fast. Secondly, you need to get your CI/CD tool sets, tools like your Jenkins, in place so that you can control the delivery pipeline. You need to have automated testing in place, tool sets perhaps like Selenium, where you can automate the testing so that you know if there's an issue prior to it going into production earlier in the pipeline. And I think log analysis tools would be the 4th cornerstone capability. The sorts of tools like your App Dynamics, your Sumo Logics, your Dynatrace, those sorts of tools that can help you identify root cause issues once they're released or early enough in the pipeline so that they don't get released into production. With regards to DevOps, to what extent is the asset value changing?
I think the first point you made with regards to process and human capital is probably one of the bigger issues. So, for example, in our State of the Cloud survey that we've done for the past 5 years, just this year, the top barrier to cloud adoption went from being security to being skill set. And what, to me, that reflects is the IT industry and all of the quality process associated with ITIL 3.0 compliance, ISO, were built off of data center models with a network team, a compute team, and a storage team. Yep. And in the cloud, none of those 3 disciplines exist in isolation, right? You in fact need to know all of them to be effective in a cloud use case. And a lot of it is taken care of by the software. I mean, in Amazon, we don't really care how they're dealing with the network. We want to understand how we can provision a VPC or segment hosts and apply security policies. So I think that the skill set issue is probably the biggest barrier in the market today, which, to be honest, is a great opportunity for companies like Offis because you have that skill set and you have people that are trained and understand these technologies and how they work. Another thing I'd add to that, we have a large retailer in the U.S. Who relies on RightScale directly to provide managed services, DevOps, application deployments in public and their private cloud. And the reality is there are very few skilled engineers that would want to go work for this retailer because it's not a really sexy business, right? And I think the hiring crunch for large enterprises to attract the latest and greatest talent is going to be really interesting to see how that turns out. Yeah?
That's a good point. Yeah. So in that space also where you're talking about the ITIL practices of traditional IT, that they're valuing the asset very highly, to the extent where it's long lived over many years. If there's something wrong or they've got to configure it or patch it, the work effort is on that machine to get it back. Whereas our mindset is moving here increasingly towards just throw it out, dispose of that, and build a new one. So we're doing that increasingly. Is that the way?
So what you're talking about is pets and cattle, right? Traditional IT is a pet. It's a kitten. You want to feed it. You want it to grow. You don't ever want it to go away. It needs to be nurtured and cared for. Yeah. The cloud is cattle. You slaughter it, you eat the meat, and you grow a new one, right? It's a very different mindset, and it's really about not respecting the inalienable rights of the server or the system, but treating them like cattle and actually moving through them as though they are disposable, which is ultimately what we do in the cloud.